We hear this a lot. Women have a long list of requirements that a man must have before they even consider going out with him. But I'd like to ask, why don't we? I used to complain, like most guys, that women's list is so long of the requirements that they have of me. But when you look at it, why don't we have a list? And when I say list, I mean standards. Women are pretty proud to have standards that a guy must meet, but guys are just happy to have a girl. So then what do guys do? What did I do in my past? I just took what I could get. Look, I won't be needy. I don't have any requirements. Just give me a girlfriend, for Christ's sake. But it's really stupid. I mean, it's like agreeing to a job and saying, you know what, just pay me whatever. Look, I just want a job. I don't care if you pay me or not. This is essentially what most guys, including me, agreed to. I think it was a few weeks ago, my friend Karu mentioned to me that there was this experiment conducted by Dr. David Buss where he had a group of women in a room, and on a blackboard, he asked women what are their requirements of a guy. And on a blackboard, he started filling in women's requirements. And it was one blackboard after another blackboard was getting filled and another blackboard. And after a while, they had to stop the session because they'd filled up all the blackboards and they just couldn't go any further. Women's needs, their needs just never ended. By contrast, when they got a group of men into the room, they filled up, I think it was 1 to 1.5 blackboards, and the guys really couldn't think of any more. It reminds me of an old video I did a long time ago called More, linked here. You know, that never-ending romantic question, what do women want? How can I get a woman if I can just give her what she wants? You know, the one thing you can encapsulate what a woman wants, it can be summarized in one word: more. It doesn't matter what that more is, whether it's more variety, a bigger house, more holidays, more surprises, more shopping, more gifts. Whatever the more is, she just wants more. You might think you've given her as much more as possible in one area, but she'll just play musical chairs and want more in a different area. And what she wanted more in yesterday, she's lost interest in, and now she wants more in another area, or a different kind of more. Basically, you can never pin down or satisfy her. Men have very, very basic needs. We're very simple. And today, men can barely even get those. And he's not even allowed to ask for it, lest he be alone forever. And don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting that men capitulate to this awful deal where they give 150% and women barely give 1% and we're told to be grateful. But it's just interesting the contrast where men have very, very basic human needs, like a lack of stress, a nice and decent person, a fair person, a person that if they want their point of view considered and they want to be listened to, they offer the same in return. You listen to him and you offer him something as well.
No.
And they fail to see the selfish contradiction. The frustrating thing is that if you ask both men and women in public questions to openly answer in terms of what's important in a relationship and what isn't, both men and women give similar answers. But the difference is that in private, where women complain, they complain about what they didn't talk publicly about. So in public, they'll say things like, oh, money's not important, love and stability, trust, keeping your word, blah, blah, blah. But what 70 to 80% of women end up breaking up relationships for is not those reasons. It's boredom and changing their minds. And so personally, what do I need? Not just what I want frivolously, but as a rational base, in a person, what do I need so I can trust them and respect them? Kindness, first and foremost, and fairness. A person who's realistic and a person who can fairly see that there's another person in this relationship and not just them. Yes, I know there's a lot of you laughing, rolling your eyes saying human. You do realize you're talking about the modern woman here. I know. But if I have to lower my standard from basic human decency, that is the bare minimum requirement for trust and long term, then gentlemen, I will stay alone. So either I'll get the bare minimum to be able to try and have a long-term relationship, or I'll have the bare minimum in my life with myself and my family and friends and enjoy having a long-term relationship there without a romantic chicky poo. Again, men are satisfied with so little. I do not want a lot. I just want kindness, fairness, and decency. And it seems like it's too much to ask for the modern woman that wants the stars. But me, I just want a sandwich. And apparently that's preposterous. That's impossible. I think it drives women nuts how simply men are entertained, how simple we are, how simple our needs are. And by comparison, I think that's why they get annoyed so much, because they have this knee-jerk reaction to just want more and more and ridiculously more. Their monkey minds keep swinging to the next branch of, let's do this, let's get that, let's get another car, let's go on holiday. Why don't we do what Nancy did? Her husband did this. They're going here. Where is this relationship going? And you can't splash cold water on her face and tell her to kind of wake up from being high on herself and her needs, because all of society tells her that, I mean, she's essentially an addict that all of society says that she's fine and you're the problem. But she's just an addict that wants more and more and more. And all of her frustrations are apparently all due to you, not her. Men need to do this. Men need to support women. Men need to stop doing blah, blah, blah. And no matter how much we give, the bar keeps getting raised and they're more and more dissatisfied. And the rational guy just thinks, I'm out. I'm talking to a crazy person. And look, personally, I've been out with enough women to agree that most women out there are. They're completely nuts. You can't pin them down to stand by anything to build a future with. They're always changing, and then they're complaining, where is this going? Well, it never starts, because you keep rewinding it back to zero every day because of your need of variety. So let me ask you guys, do you have a list of must-haves, standards by which you'll not even start anything committed? You won't even talk long-term. And you demand consistency from the person, or it's not commitment, I'm sorry. And before many of you guys start saying, oh, well, women aren't logical, human, you're being ridiculous. I'm not, because this is my life. Either I'll have a woman who's going to have some sort of semblance of adhering to reality, or I will not have anything long-term with her if she can't keep some sort of consistency. I am done, and I would humbly offer, so should you be done with, women who can't be consistent in a manner by which you can actually start having a long-term relationship and not keep rewinding back to zero, the start of the honeymoon, over and over again, and you keep looping the relationship there, and just because you've been there and you've kept looping it for a year or two, but you haven't actually progressed anywhere in terms of trust or consistency. This is where I found myself. With my last serious relationship, I trusted her no more than I did in the first few months we were together. And we were together for 2.5 years. It's like, what am I doing? I can't lie to myself. So, I mean, generally, we agree that most women out there are nuts with their standards and they keep changing their mind. That we should lower our same standards of quality just to be with someone or anyone out there, because I'll take whatever's on offer. I'll pay any price. Do you have prerequisites in a decent person, not just because she's a woman, but a decent person that you can honestly trust, not just say, yeah, I trust her, even though you don't, but that you can honestly trust, and someone that you're not embarrassed of? I made a video a while ago called Have Some Needs. A lot of men complain about women's never-ending high standards and their never-ending list of needs. Do you have any yourself? I would offer you should. And unless they pass that threshold, don't even consider intimacy with this person. And by intimacy, I mean trust and starting any sort of commitment, introducing it to your friends and family, and embarrassing yourself if this person doesn't meet those basic requirements. Let me know in the comments section, join the channel, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.